Hello everyone, it's Spurs Reading 96 here, and welcome to another Train Sim World 2 news video. Today, Dovetail and Skyhook Games have put out information that concerns the very latest United States route, Cane Creek. They have today released a transcript of an interview that was conducted of the behind-the-scenes access as to how Skyhook Games have created the spectacular environment of Cane Creek. So, the person they are interviewing is Lewis, and let's go through pretty much the important questions that I have managed to cherry pick out of this interview. So the first question is, what has Lewis's involvement been like on this route? Well, Lewis says, Cane Creek has been enjoyable because I have been a part of this route since the very start. I began by blocking out the scenes and gathering reference, trying to break down areas we would need to focus on, such as Potash, where there are large canyons. I aimed to break it down into its simplest form and determine what assets we were going to need. The next question is, has it been challenging to get this route looking as accurate as you have? Lewis says, the Potash area and towards Moab, where the main canyon areas are, we spent a long time on at the start. We knew this was going to be the main feature for the route, so we spent a lot of time getting reference, such as video and photographic reference. We tried to understand and break down the scale of the rocks. Scaling was perhaps the most important part. They are so big that you don't realize how big they are when you are looking at them. The scaling is strange. When you are there in real life, they appear as though they are only 2 miles away, but in actuality, they are 10 miles away. When we first started putting the assets in, they didn't look right. We weren't getting the correct detailing of the rocks. It didn't look right for a long time, so we broke it down layer by layer to find out what it consisted of and how much we can show it and make it run. These actual photographs that Dovetail Games have released have been utilizing map data from Google and Maxar Technologies, in case you are wondering. Right, the next question is, was it a rewarding feeling once it started to come together? Lewis says, it was weird for me because I was working on this one area for so long, making small changes and improving things bit by bit. Because I spent so much time looking at it, I didn't notice it improving. When I went to other artists and colleagues, they would comment on how much better it was looking. So it was really rewarding hearing it from them. Right, the next question is, where do you get your reference material from and how do you collect it? Lewis says, well, Google Earth is usually the first place we will go to. With this being a popular area, there is a lot of reference around, and it's possible to drop in and have a look around. We found loads of panorama pictures for the route as well. Having a 360-degree view is really helpful. I will also watch some YouTube videos of people actually on the train, or people who have just visited the area. I tried to collect as much imagery as possible. It's quite time-consuming being part of the project, but that's when it really starts to feel exciting. We will see certain areas or certain rocks and think, oh, I've got to do that, and make those canyons look good. The challenge can be a bit intimidating at first, but that's what gets me enthusiastic. Now, the next question is, have you come across any challenges while creating Cane Creek? Lewis says, this has been completely different. I certainly didn't anticipate how difficult the scaling would be. When reusing certain assets, it was hard to make them look as unique as possible. We used Quixel Mega Scans. These are photo-scanned assets, which gave us a lot of detail. Due to the type of rocks we were using, they were scaled too small, and when we want to enlarge them to the correct size, the detail was relative to a smaller rock, and so it looked wrong. We fixed this by using a lot of different rocks and techniques that were blended together. Right, I think this is the final, second to last question, which says, what is something you are looking forward to the community seeing? Lewis says, this will feel like a big change compared to other routes the community have driven. When you are driving as first person, you really feel the scale of the canyons. You drive through what feels like corridors of the canyon. My favorite part of this route is probably Moab. There's a tunnel for about a mile. Obviously, it's really dark in the tunnel, but when you come out, it opens up into this really detailed and open landscape. There's a bit of everything in that area. We have canyons either side. The water reflects the rocks, which looks really good, and straddled carriers that take off shipping containers from different areas and locations. It's lovely, especially during certain times of day. Now, this is the final question, which says, have you come across anything unique with this route? And Lewis says, the colour palette. As artists, we try to look at everything from a distance to get a sense of the whole picture. Does it read well? Does it sit well from a distance? In other routes, there are traditionally very green palettes for trees and such. Cane Creek, however, is a big change because we have a very orange and red colours. It's a contrast from the natural bushes, which shows up really nicely. So there you go, that concludes a little bit of the behind the scenes as to how the fantastic canyons of of Utah is being constructed for the Cane Creek route, which of course is Union Pacific's first only route. Route dedicated specifically to Union Pacific for Train Sim World. So of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm actually quite excited for Cane Creek. It's not the longest route in the game, but it certainly has a lot of potential, certainly by what Skyhook Games have been saying in this interview today. So of course, if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, and please subscribe if you are new for more up-to-date Train Sim World news and content from me. Links in the description below, of course, for the Twitch, Twitter, the Discord server, and the Patreon page for this channel. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.